Alright guys, this is going to be the intro to the video on shooting the Mini 30 out at the range. Right off the top, you'll see whenever you see the range footage that I got very frustrated today battling with wind and crap blowing off my table, targets not staying on the target stand, just different things. So I was very frustrated today. And it shows in my shooting. I don't want you all to think that whenever you see, the target of the Mini 30, that it's the gun, because it was definitely me. I was rushing my shots, the whole 9 yards. Off the top, you'll see that, well, let's just get this out of the way. The Mini 30 did fantastic. It had no jams. What I did have was some occasions where the bolt would not pick up the round out of the magazine. It would just skip over the top of it. I think that's more of a magazine issue than a gun issue. The gun fired flawlessly. Very, very, very pleased. What I'm not pleased with is the scope mounts that come with the rifle from Ruger, because Ruger has a proprietary ring or scope ring setup on here, and this particular mount back here I cannot keep tight, and you'll see in the shooting video the dilemma I had with that. The nice thing is the first time I discovered that had loosened up on me, I tightened these both back down really tight and fired at the target at paper, and it brought it right back. And that was just off of a bore sight. I first tried to fire this at 25 yards. I had 3 rounds that actually touched each other. The frustration was setting in. I had others that flew all over just because I was getting upset. But then I went up to the shoot house, and first shots at a target at 50 yards, and I mean, this was big. You'll see I wasn't even on the paper, and I fired I don't know how many rounds, and I got to the point where I was like, screw it, I'm going to take the scope and rings off, and I was just going to shoot irons. And I went to loosen that up, and it was already loose. So I tightened it down real tight with a screwdriver and fired, and it was on the target, and everything looked to be good. Well, I get home, bring it down here, lo and behold, I check this, and this one right here has loosened up again. So I'm not real happy about that. I don't want to have to Loctite the damn thing, because if I want to be able to take this off and go irons and put this back on, I want to be able to do that. And I realize I can do that with thread locker on there, but I don't think I should have to do it. I think if you freaking tighten that son of a bitch really tight, it ought to stay, but it's not. So very, very pleased with this. It did real well. I was the pain in the ass, the crybaby, and all that stuff today. Of course, I was thinking that I know that tomorrow and Sunday the wind is going to blow like crazy. Today I understood that it wasn't going to be much wind. Here in town it wasn't too bad. I got up there where the range is, and it was blowing its freaking butt off. And like I say, you'll see footage of it. The 22 with the red dot, I took it up. With the wind and everything, I fired one 25 round clip through it. Magazine through it, and I put it away. I just didn't even feel like messing with it. And I took up both of my Glocks, and I didn't even fire them. So this is the one that got the time today. This is the one I really wanted to get the time on, but I did have, and still have, the issue with that loosening up. But whenever it's good and tight, just after a bore sight, I never had to touch the windage or elevation on the scope. Just from my bore sight that I did last night, that was shooting right on the target. But here again in the wind, I wasn't going to try and get too precise on really zeroing the thing in, because I know the wind was affecting the bullet flight, and plus my attitude was affecting the bullet flight. So that's about it. You're going to see I got a little bit of footage coming up after this little talk. I shot Wolf and I shot Tula ammo. But they both ran fine. So the range report is the Ruger Mini 30 shot very, very well. Only issue is the scope mount. That's a very minor thing. One way or another, I'll get that taken care of. But there's going to be some video to follow. It's going to be fairly long, probably. Sorry about that. I tend to run that way. But another thing too, using this rest out there did not work so good having this on here. Hopefully, having this. Because no matter how you set this on here, if you have it setting like this, you can't get your eye up here good. You can't really get to your trigger good. If you have it setting out like this, now you can't get your face up to the scope because this thing is in the stinking way. So this was actually useless out there, trying to use this as a rifle rest. Now what I should have done was take this off, because that is a clamp, for using it like a vise. I should have, I don't know what the hell I've done with it. That's right here. I should have taken that out, and I should have put this in. I didn't even think about it. So I was shooting off of a bag on the front and just putting it up to my shoulder on the rear. I was getting buffered around pretty good when I was outside. So don't think the rifle was not shooting well, because it was very well. No complaints from me on that whatsoever. So there's some footage coming up. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you do stay and watch the footage. I cut some crap out. I kind of give an overview of the range. Hopefully it'll be somewhat interesting to you guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the subs. We'll see you later. Alright guys, well, I'm out here. Of course, it's a windy son of a bitch. Hopefully you can even hear me. I'm just going to do a little bit of try and do some rapid fire with this Ruger Mini 30. It doesn't really do me any good to try and zero in this scope, because I'm just moving all over the damn place in this freaking wind. Now I've run about 9 rounds through it, and in that first 9 rounds of Tula ammo, I had 2 instances where the bolt failed to pick up the round and put it in the chamber. But other than that, as far as whenever it cycles, it's been good. So we'll see what happens with it right now. Well, all of them cycled just fine, so anyway, I'm not going to film much out here. This wind's a pain in the ass, so I'm out of here for now. Alright guys, I wised up. This new range, of course, it's got an indoor rifle shooting house. So I came down here. I wanted to do it outdoors to start with, because I wanted to try and zero this scope on this Mini at 25 yards. Well, the nearest we have here is 50 yards. So I said, screw it. I'm going to come down here, get out of the wind, and see what I can do. But very, very nice place. When I drove down through here, this gravel road out here takes you out to the main gate. Hell, I'm probably between a quarter and half a mile from the gate. And as you come down, there's just different ranges going all the way back out. You got a handgun, there's a black powder, there's a trap, there's a plinking range. The range I was on was a pretty much do what you want range, other than shoot glass. But if you want to go out there with plastic jugs with water and shoot them and blow them up, you can do that. If you come out this way, got a wood burning stove in here. tell you what, man, this fucking wind around here is ridiculous. If you keep going down this way, there's a 600-yard range out there. No wind or nothing. You can shoot from these benches out here. This goes 50 yards, 100 yards out to 200 yards is what this range will go out to. But kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. But I'll do a film whenever I drive out, kind of showing the different ranges and stuff. But this is just kind of a look at this. Now that I'm in here, I'll probably shoot a little bit of video while I shoot. I could maybe put this like right here or something. Then again, you'd probably rather see the target, so I don't know if this thing will. Anyway, I'll figure it out. So I'm gonna get set up and start punching some paper. Alright guys, well, I just got done battling with my Mini 30. I had it down at the 25-yard range, earlier, and put 20 rounds through it down there. And at 25 yards, I had 3 shots that were touching. I move up here, get in the shoot house, have that out at 50 yards. I'm not even hitting the target. I'm talking the whole target, everything that's in that target frame. And I kept, shooting real high or left or right, seeing where it was at. I was just at the point where I was going to take my gun or my scope off the gun, and I went to unscrew one of the scope mounts, and the son of a bitch was just about off. It was so freaking loose. Now this is the mount that connects to the top of the receiver of the gun. Fucking really loose. So I tightened all that shit way down and started firing shots, and what you see right there is what I was doing. Now mind you, the wind's blowing like crazy. I'm pretty frustrated, and all the shots were on my target. So I'm just going to film. I'm going to shoot 3 rounds at Tula. I haven't fired any Tula through this since I tightened this stuff down, and then I'll do 3 rounds of Wolf, and we'll see how she goes. Well, as you can see, at least it's on the target. I'm not going to get too, Jesus, sorry about that. I guess the wind and everything, I mean, they're right there. I know I'm pulling my shots. I know I am. But the first 3 on that was the Wolf, and then I shot Tula. I got one that's low and left. It was a Tula round. But anyway, there's been 0 malfunctions as far as failure to feed as far as it getting jammed trying to go into the chamber. I've had probably about 5 instances where the bolt did not grab a round out of the magazine. It just went right over the top of it. Other than that, it's been really good. So anyway, that's her. Now I'm going to put like 7 or 8 rounds on that relatively quickly. Right now I'm just kind of testing the function of the gun and just shooting it for fun. Well, zero malfunction with Tula and Wolf. Knock that shit off again, didn't it? See it. Alright guys, well, that's the target back inside the shooting house. All these ones up here were Wolf. I think at one there was a Tula round. And then whenever I went 3 Tula, 3 Wolf, I wasn't taking my time, and I was thinking, I don't even know where in the hell they're not even, you know, really on the paper anywhere. But I'm just frustrated today. The wind and all that crap just frustrated the crap out of me. My own fault. I'm gonna get in the truck, start driving out. God damn it. Now there went my fucking money out of my pocket. Just one of them days, you know. One of them freaking days. You know, this morning I contemplated not even going because of the wind, and I was looking so forward to it. I was like, yeah, I'll go. I wonder if I should have. This is the target that I had at the 25 yard. You can see those 3 shots right there touching. And then, I mean, at some point that scope ring started coming loose. And, you know, with the wind and everything else, and I just got freaking tired of fighting the wind, so thought, well, I'll come down here to the indoor house, which is, it's much nicer in there, no doubt about that. So there we go. Now you go back over in there, and I really don't know, but that's where the 600 yard range is, and you shoot over toward that big hill over there. Now, if I had my cheat book with me, I could tell you what every one of these ranges are. Now I got my, oh, by the way, that little rest that I have shown before in videos, I kind of use it to, you know, showcase rifles and stuff like that. It ain't worth this shit for a rifle rest. Need a lead sled or something. So that's another thing I was doing today too, is I couldn't get a good solid rest. I could put the front forestock on a bag, but the back end had to be against my shoulder, you know, so I'm moving around. The trigger on the Mini 30, I measured it on my scale, and it's dead on right at 6 pounds consistently. 5 pounds, 15 ounces to 6 pounds, 2 ounces, I think. And here's another, you know, a separate range right here, and I can't tell you what that's for. Keep driving down the road here. And these houses you see up here on the right, that's one of those is the Pistol House. I think it's the one over here on the right, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's got this other ranges down here. I guess this range has like 550 members or something. I thought it was like 250, but they've got like 550 members. There's a shooting house right there, for pistol or whatever. And then this one over here to the left of it. That whole thing might be pistol. That whole range right there might be pistol. Most of it's outdoor with some indoor. Still going here. Like I say, back here a ways. Want to pay attention right here. That's a pretty big drop off. What does this say right here? 22s. 22 long rifles only. You know, so is this the Plinken range? This might be the small bore, because they have one that is pistol and small bore rifle silhouette range or something like that. Anyhow, then we get a little bit of a gap. I think I might have passed the trap range. So I think according to the map, that trap range is just to the left of the rifle shooting house. And then you get down here and there's a what they call the plinking range. The plinking range is where little kids and stuff can come. This right here is, well, that might be the Plinken range, and this right here might be black powder only. They have one that's just for black powder. There we go. The black powder. So, I mean, it's a nice range. It really is. And then right in here is where I was at the first stop. This area in here, there's one here. And then another one right here. And this is pretty much the area you can go and do what you want. You know, if you want to set up plastic jugs, blow up soda pop, bottles, fruit, whatever. The only thing you can't shoot in these two berm areas is glass. No glass, no televisions or anything like that. Anything else, you can shoot it. You just have to, of course, clean up after yourself. So, you know, it covers some territory out here. There's houses and stuff right over here. You know, but all the firing is done to the north. That's to the north up there. Then we get up here and this is the gate. It's a lock gate. When you get your membership, you get a key. You only get one key. If you lose your key right here, you're kind of screwed because they think you're giving your key out to people, but I ain't planning on losing my key. Anyway, that's about it, boys and girls. I'm gonna take her to the house, get all this crap unloaded, and relax. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.